Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Mnisi. This morning I want to highlight something that has been going on in the MEYIWA trial, which is very unbecoming of a forum like a courtroom. I am talking here about, the relationship that has developed over the months between the judge on the one hand and the defense counsels in this matter. The relationship between Judge Ratha and Advocate Mnisi, and on the other hand, Advocate Mnisi, is quite unbecoming of a courtroom. It has dealt a serious blow to the decorum of the courtroom. The exchanges between the judge and these two defense counsels have been far below the radar of decency that we expect in any courtroom. Now, let me begin by saying that the judge presiding over any matter or the presiding judge in any trial is in charge of the process. And that being in charge of the process also extends to him making sure that decorum is maintained in that courtroom, that whoever is a player in that courtroom conducts himself or herself in a manner befitting of a courtroom, so that the whole thing must be, shrouded in respect. The public out there must get a sense that this is serious work being undertaken here, and that justice is being dispensed by the court. And it is very important that the circumstances under which this takes place is conducive and what we expect to see in a courtroom. Let me take you a little bit back to an encounter between Judge Ratha and Advocate Mnisi some time back. It was at that stage, you recall, when Mnisi made an objection around issues of unfairness, and the judge then shot back at her to say, "Don't ever accuse me of being a crook. Don't ever accuse me of being a crook. I've been in this profession for 55 years plus," and on he went. Mnisi just shot back, without the slightest hesitation. She just shot back and said to the judge, "Oh, well, we all have our own little experiences." In effect saying to the judge, "Who cares about your 55 years? I also have my own experience. I might not have the 55 years that you are screaming about, but I have my own experience." What an exchange between a judge and an advocate, unbecoming of a courtroom. This is why I want to say this morning that Judge Ratha has lost control of that courtroom. And is likely the author of that because most of the time when these exchanges come up, or whenever these exchanges happen, they are always instigated by him. And this, prompts or sort of forces the advocates to simply disrespect him because largely of his own demeanor. and everything just sinks to the bottom. So that was Msololo and Advocate and Judge Ratha. As far as Mnisi is concerned, it has happened so many times. I've even lost count of the number of times that it has happened. Just take a listen to this before I get back to this disturbing trend in this trial.
Yeah, but those two witnesses, is that the guys at the police station who came rushing?
Yes, man.
They
Yes.
saw nothing.
Yes, they say they just
Yeah.
had a casual look.
They came and had a cursory look and saw nothing. Now, how do you compare a guy who says, I saw nothing, with a guy who says, I found the projectile?
No, my lord. They did not use the term cursory.
But they saw nothing.
They said we found nothing, yes.
Yeah, they found nothing.
Yes.
So, and the other guys, they say, we found the projectile, and Mangana even goes and says, I reconstructed the scene. The bullet never exited the panels. It ricocheted at an angle of about 75 degrees, and he followed that, and it was found at the kitchen. That's the evidence. The other guys, that next gesien, so said the boer, next.
But that is also evidence, my lord.
Nothing.
Yes.
We saw nothing.
They said we did not find anything.
That's it.
Not that we saw nothing.
Anything is nothing.
Which was there? There is nothing which was there.
Yeah.
And the other group come and say there was something there.
Yes. And
So
an
why
aspect-
should then
an
this other
aspect-
group that says there was something there be preferred more than this other group that says there was nothing there?
For
When
me-
they are all policemen, man.
To me, it's logic. Okay, fine. You can argue the whole day. For me,
Thank
it's
you,
logic.
my lord. I am therefore raising it on the basis of the fact
Yeah,
that
fine.
it is not as a fact that is conclusive that there was something found there, because the court still has got to make, unless the court says he has already made the determination.
No, no. And I never carried a case like that. I listened to what the witness says. He said,
Yes,
like,
ma'am.
next gesien.
Yes.
Next.
Yes. There was nothing
This
there.
evidence
Yes.
is nettelos. It's useless.
Yeah. No, it's not useless, man.
Okay, fine. You're the judge.
No, I'm
You
not.
can make a finding. Fine.
Thank you, my lord,
Yeah,
for
fine,
that
you're the judge.
elevation. Thank you very much. It's a very, I'm honored to be
My Lord,
held with
Yes,
such
sir.
Mr.
prestige.
Mnyube, he has raised up his hand.
What an unprofessional exchange between a judge and an advocate in a courtroom. And it all arose over something very pedestrian as things go. It was just over the issue that Mnisi was raising, over, that discovery of that bullet in the Kumalo house by the investigating officers. The issue that Mnisi was just making there was, this matter is not settled as yet, because the first set of police officers on the scene did not find any bullet shell. And yet the second group of officers allegedly found a bullet shell in the house, in the kitchen somewhere. So this was the issue that prompted it all. It just did not have to be handled in that manner. You see the judge shooting back there that, oh, well, you are the judge, you be the judge, and you'll make a ruling. What kind of response is that? It is an unwelcome and an unwarranted response by a judge in the face of an advocate raising an issue in a courtroom. Where is the decorum of that courtroom, Judge Ratha? So in similar vein, Mnisi just retorted back and said, sarcastically so, that, well, I'm honored. You give me that honor of being a judge. So be it, I'm honored. So the exchanges These kind of exchanges, rather, have, shocked South Africa. The people involved in that courtroom are fully aware that this trial is being fully televised, live, every single day as it proceeds. So they must also be fully aware that the whole of South Africa is watching this, unlike many other trials which go untelevised. And what is the public supposed to make of this kind of situation where there is just no respect between the judge and the advocates? Sometimes it just conjures up images in my head of, my days when I was in high school. It sounds like an exchange between, high school boys over some argument. It does not sound and does not belong in a courtroom. The respect has simply evaporated. And the relationship, especially between Judge Ratha and, on the one hand, Advocate Msololo and Advocate Mnisi, is simply toxic. Having said that, let me thank you for watching this video. Let me thank you for all the views and subscriptions that I'm seeing. And please have a wonderful, wonderful day.